Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about the entire Avatar set. We'll be going through every legendary, every creature, every instant sorcery that is worth mentioning about, mainly, actually all of them, pretty much the mythics and rares, the main things to talk about when it comes to the set that kind of calculates if a set is worth it or not. So this one is going to be a big one. So grab your glider and let's get right on into it. So what is exactly the Avatar set? Magic the Gathering has made a Universes Beyond thing where they get different shows or collaborations to put into their universe and make cards about. And this time they have picked Avatar The Last Airbender. This isn't just a secret layer or a jumpstart set, this is a full set breakdown. We will be talking about the best pulls and showing off all the amazing art that they have done for this set. I'll be showing off the best cards in this set. To answer the question, was this worth making? Is it worth buying? Is it worth collecting? Or is it worth selling? When it comes to this, each of the nations got pretty much their own colour. Water focuses on flow and teamwork, which is going to be mainly blue with a splash of white. Earth is all about defense and value, so it's a very heavy green colour. Fire brings explosions and big plays, so that is red for the Fire Nation. And then air tries to not get hit in the first place, which is a lot of white cards. Now a lot of these are dual and 3 colour sets or cards, which is really good, but the main priority of them would be their own identity colour. One problem I think Magic has been having a lot lately is there is a lot of commanders, and each set they make a lot of commanders, and this set has a lot of commanders. In my opinion, this fan is mainly for collectors, commander players, or people that are fan of Avatar and the Avatar series. Personally, my favorite thing about this entire set is the artwork. The artwork is absolutely amazing. They've got pretty much screenshots from the show, but also show off amazing art of its own. Overall, this doesn't feel like a normal Magic the Gathering set. It feels like a love letter to the series. But it is also surprisingly very playable with a lot of cool cards. But before we dive into the cards themselves, a quick little shout out to my merch store, because unlike the Fire Nation, I promise my t-shirts will not attack your bank account. I have a small little Etsy where I make t-shirts and hoodies with multiple colours and designs for people to enjoy. It is mainly used to help out the channel, help it grow, help me get equipment to make these videos better for you. So if you like me and what I do and you want to help and support out the channel, first, buy yourself something nice. Secondly, like and subscribe and do all that YouTubey stuff we always ask for. But that is my plug over, let's get into the fun stuff, starting off with the legendary creatures. And the main part of this set, it's mainly all the characters that people know and love, and the biggest part of the set because most people will want to build a commander deck around their favourite character more than having not many legendary characters that they can pick from. This is going to be the largest amount of cards that I'm going to be showing off lots of amazing art, and to be honest, I've wanted to make a commander deck or two, so if anyone's interested and wants me to do a deck tech video on any of these, let me know in the comments down below and I will provide that for you. But let's go through all the characters that everyone's going to know about. Appa Steadfast Guardian, Koth the Faceless Stealer, Wan Sing Tong Librarian, Mei Scornful Striker, Zio the Moonslayer, the Uangi of Kyoshi Island, Avatar Aang, Boomy Unleashed, Katana Water Tribe's Hope, Sokka Bold Boomeranger, Toph Hard-Headed Teacher, Aang Swift Savior, Iroh T Master, Zuko Conflicted, Azula Konging Upriser, Iroh Grand Lotus, Sokka Tenkrus Tantician, Firelord Azula, Katara the Fearless, and Toph the Metalbender. Toph and Boomy are literally my two favourite characters of this show. I think third would be the Secret Tunnel guy, but to be honest, I absolutely love Toph's lines. The way she talks about being blind is really funny to me. I really do appreciate how she becomes literally the strongest earthbender ever. And then in the next series, where it's Katara, you still see Toph as the most powerful earthbender that she can see people from pretty much the other end of the world. A lot of these cards have beautiful, amazing art, really well-known characters, lots of different variations to build the way you want, which I really do appreciate. You don't have to kind of stick with one commander. There's going to be so many that people get to pick, so you might not ever see the same commander deck twice. I do find these to be the biggest selling point when it comes to the Avatar set. None of these legendary creatures feel out of place, they're strong in their own different way and outright, but some are clearly more powerful than others, and I personally think they did a quite good job on showing that in the cards. I can see this being a mix of a lot of Commander players liking the ability of a card and building a deck around it, but I can also see a lot of people building a deck around the character they like, so it might not be the playstyle they usually go to, but they might want a Toph deck, for example, and going, I don't care what Toph does, I'm going to build a deck that works because I want a Commander deck with Toph in it. But that's it for the legendary creatures I think are worth a mention. And honestly, it is an amazing lineup. If there's any legendary creatures you think I should have talked about, let me know in the comments down below. But now let's move on to the creatures of the set. To me, this is more of the supporting cast, or quite well known characters but not main characters. These are more fillers to give the Avatar world more of a realistic feeling that there's not just overpowered people, there's also animals and cool little normal average people that just want to go on with their lives. These cards are not the biggest headliners, but there might be some characters you remember. But they're great for flavor text and making your Commander deck that extra Avatar-y. When it comes to this, you get cards just like Badger Mole Cub, Earthen Ally, Bowling Rock Writer, Great Divine Guide, Earth King's Lieutenant, Beifong's Bounty Hunter, Sandbending Scavengers. A lot of these characters are really great world builders for the Avatar series. A lot of these help move the main characters along or just have really cool kind of episodes dedicated pretty much to themselves. Mainly talking about that Earthbending Guide, he was so good in that episode. These are not going to be the strongest cards ever, but these are going to be cards that you may put in a deck or a different deck completely that's not related to Avatar that helps boost your Commander or your playstyle for that deck. Mainly when it comes to these, I see a lot of people wanting them because they liked the character, they want it in their collection. I actually think Avatar is going to be one of the better collection sets probably Wizards have ever made, and I love Avatar, so again, that could just be me. But now let's look at the spells or the instants and sorceries. These are mainly to capture the really big bending moments in the series, or capture some major battles or iconic scenes from the show. These are mainly kind of like the big part of an episode, not dedicated to a character or something the character does themselves. When it comes to this, you get cards just like Secret of Bloodbending, United Front, Sozon's Comet, Day of the Black Sun, The Last Airbender, Element Teaching, Avatar's Wrath, Spirit Water Revival, Redirect Lightning, Foggy Swamp Vision. I personally think these cards make a really good representation of really cool scenes and episodes throughout the show. It's actually making me want to rewatch it. You get big massive spell cards that are on about like Sozon's Comet, the Airbender, and the Day of the Black Sun, which are really emotional episodes showing off the Firebenders' biggest triumphs or losses. And I really do like that when it comes to the spells. They're really the most kind of emotional parts that they cannot throw a character onto. Mechanically wise, they're just your generic cards that go in all the sets. There's the board wipes, the kill spells, the kind of reprints that they do in every single set to make it a normal set, which is completely fine with me, and I really do like that. They actually personally think they did a really good representation on what the spell does and what it represents in the show. A lot of these are high impact for Commander players, so it's perfect for both Commander players and people that are into collecting Avatar, showing the scenes they love or their favorite episodes. But overall, if there's any cool massive combos that you can think of with any of these with other cards from different sets, let me know any cool ones down in the comments down below. But they are usually the main scenes when it comes to this show. What are the main items? Let's go on to artifacts. When it comes to the artifacts, it's main things that are in this series, like literal physical things they made, like planes and drills and just objects they use, which I do like because it still keeps on with that artifact theme that Magic is known for. These are not creatures or capturing scenes from a show. These are literal physical objects that people can either hold or use, or their main iconic structures people have or hold throughout the show. When it comes to this, you get cards just like Phoenix Fleet Airship, the Fire Nation Drill, the Walls of Ba Sing Se, Plantarium of Wang Sing Tong, White Lotus Tile. I like that the vehicles are actually vehicles from the show. That I absolutely love the episode where the drill is trying to go through the wall and they stop it. I do think that was a amazing episode. The airships are really iconic, so again, a lot of these are the Fire Nation kind of stuff they use. I was thinking of the tanks, but I don't really remember seeing the tanks in this show. I think it was mainly in chorus, or again, correct me if I'm wrong there, I haven't watched it in ages. And I did kind of get a little tear when I found out that that White Lotus tile comes in, because it kind of reminds me a lot, and I do love that kind of secret society. Here's our little like code for when we play that game, which I'm not sure is a real game. Let me know down below if it's actually a real game and how you actually play it. I think these show a really great job in filling out the world and like remembering episodes and vehicles they've made and items, and the big massive wall, which again is one of the most iconic kind of towns in or cities in Avatar, probably in both series. A lot of these are great flavor, a lot of cool references, and quite cool cards out on their own. But now let's move into the enchantments. When it comes to this, I'm separating it into kind of two sections. I'm doing enchantments and then sagas, so we're just going to be talking about the enchantment. When it comes to the enchantments, this is mainly going to be focusing on the bending styles. Most of these are the Ascension cards showing off the different type of bending styles and how they help out. To be honest, if the Avatar world was real, I would have loved to be born as an earthbender. Let me know in the comments down below which one you would prefer. I'm on about the Avatar one, not when they get the extra powers for each one. So like metal bending and like combustion bending, even though there was that one guy. But you know what I mean? I want, out of the original 4, which one would you pick? When it comes to cards that are just enchantments, you get Fated Firepower, Avatar's Destiny, Airbending Ascension, Waterbending Ascension, Firebending Ascension, Earthbending Ascension, Aang's Iceberg. There's not much to talk about these when it comes to the story. I really do love that they put Aang's Iceberg as a card, and then the rest are mainly just the different styles of bending. To be honest, the main thing when it comes to enchantments is the sagas, which I thought would be great on their own little section. So now let's go on to the sagas of this set. These, in my opinion, are the coolest cards in the entire set. To be honest, I would have loved if there was a lot of Planeswalkers, but Wizards of the Coast have decided that Planeswalkers is not as cool as they used to be. A lot of these are past avatars that show their story, and when they flip, you get to see them themselves. I would love if there was like a commander thing where you could play the sagas as a commander if the other side is a legendary creature. So you get to play your commander as a saga and then flip into its like creature side. That would be really cool in my opinion. Let me know if you think I'm wrong down below. But when it comes to this, the sagas are The Legend of Yang Chen, Avatar Yang Chen, The Legend of Kuruk, Avatar Kuruk, The Rise of Sozin, Firelord Sozin, The Legend of Roku, Avatar Roku, The Legend of Kyoshi, Avatar Kyoshi. I personally think these sagas are the most powerful cards in the set, minus like the 1 or 2 cards that people are going to jump at me for. They'll be like, this card's the most powerful card in the set, and this is a creature or a legendary creature. I mean, overall, like comparing all the legendary creatures, I do think the sagas are the strongest part of this set. It has everything I personally like when it comes to a Magic the Gathering set, other than it being a Universes Beyond, but that's a separate issue. It has great artwork, great opportunities of artwork because each one comes with 2 or 3. It tells a really cool story and has kind of a story to the set, and then has a very powerful card for a majority of all of them. I love these 5 cards as an overall aspect. Mechanically, these are quite good, but they're quite slow and kind of need to be patient for them to pay off, which is the downside, but I still do appreciate them. But then afterwards you get a powerful creature, which will be really cool to build your deck around. I like that each one kind of tells the story of each avatar or the Fire Lord, and then it shows off that it is them at the end. I do love that as a story concept and a really cool artwork. But even though I think they are still some of the best designed cards, we still haven't gone through all of them. We have one more card type left to talk about, which are the lands. I do think the lands are worth a mention, but I do think they are the weakest part of the set. A lot of these mention really iconic towns and cities and locations, which is really cool. I just think what the card abilities do is quite weak overall. but I can see a lot of people wanting to put some of these cards into a deck. So when it comes to the lands, you get lands just like Abandoned Air Temple, Agna Quella, Realm of Ka, Fire Nation Palace, Ba Sing Se, Jasmine Dragon Tea Shop, and Secret Tunnel. I think the lands overall are really weak and not the best. However, they are some of the more emotional cards, more of the collector piece of cards to me, because a lot of them are very big, kind of iconic places when it comes to the show, which I do like. I would only really be grabbing these if I was collecting the Avatar set, which I'm not, but if I was going to, these would be cards I would love to get my hands on. But to be honest, it has my favorite card in the entire set, Secret Tunnel. To this day, I will randomly start singing Secret Tunnel whenever I see something stupid. Like if I see a hole in the wall or something like that, I will randomly burst out in this song. I actually remember being in college annoying some people constantly singing it. So I am very, very happy that they did make a card called Secret Tunnel. But I find these to be mainly pretty cards. The rest of the lands weren't even mentionable in my opinion when it comes to this. Every set has the 5 basic lands, and then the tap lands were not good. But now let's talk about the value of the set. When it comes to this, I won't be focusing on monetarily value because other channels do that. And as someone that's a person that loves the TCG hobby and other hobbies, as you can tell, I never really care about the monetary value of things. It's kind of, I would rather pay more for something I know I'm going to love than pay less than something I'm going to find I don't care for. Like for example, I have the Ocarina of Time for the N64 right there. I absolutely love it, and it's right there for a reason, because I love showing it off. If I ever want to play Ocarina of Time, I'm going to be a cheapskate and emulate it. Overall, do I think this set is worth it? As someone that's not a big fan of Universes Beyond, I do have to admit they have done a really good job. I love the different variations of artwork. I still think they're pointing out too many and shouldn't really do kind of artworks that are just scenes from the show. However, a lot of people do like them. I do love the alternative art cards that kind of remind me of the Mystical Archive cards. So again, great artwork, great representation of the show. There's a lot of commanders, which again is good and both bad in my opinion. I think there's too many variations of commanders coming out each set. I remember being like a handful, and now every set has more than what a year would come out with like 5 years ago. However, I do think they should bring out kind of a new creature type that is not legendary but not a normal creature. It's just kind of a non-legendary creature, but it's a main part of the show. So for example, having Aang as a legendary creature makes sense, but having like Sokka's dad as a legendary creature would be no. However, Sokka's dad was a main part of the show. So again, having a not main character, but not just a background character with a new creature type that you cannot play as your commander, but it shows that it is important to this set, would be really cool. But I'm not sure if they're going to do that. I think if you are a commander player or a draft player, I think this set is really good. My main thing would be if you are a collector because you love the show. However, there will be a lot to collect. One thing I would actually love to see is if someone ever actually just gets every single card when it comes to this. I would love to see a master set of this. Other than that, I think a lot of the cards are good for already decks that you've made if you don't mind throwing in Universes Beyond stuff. So again, if you have a Lord of the Rings deck, but there is a card that works well with your Lord of the Rings, if you're cool with it, I do recommend putting it in. I know I'm not big into the monetary value stuff, but it could be that the set's not fully out yet or hasn't been out for a while, but I do think some of the cards are way too pricey. I heard the Bird Librarian is very, very pricey, but then some cards are super cheap depending on what art and stuff you want. But again, that'll be with every set. Overall, I think this is quite a good set that people should collect or even try out. I do think it is an amazing draft product and a collector product, and then a second tier commander set or a deck upgrader set. Overall, I would give this set an entire 8.8 out of 10. I think it is fun. I think it is beautiful. I think it is fun. I think if you love Avatar or even like it, you're going to think this set is amazing. But now let's wrap things up. If you're building any of the decks or want me to do a deck tech video on any of the commanders, let me know in the comments down below. While you're there, remember to like and subscribe and do all that YouTubey stuff we always ask for. And as always, if you liked this video, I have the previous Avatar video I've made here, a playlist of Magic the Gathering stuff. Is it worth it? Here, and a subscribe button here, and I shall see you all in the next video.